of Northeast Streaming Sports.
What's up, everybody?
What's
It's
up?
another NFC show. And look at this. All four are here again 2 weeks in a row. We're breaking. Actually, no, PorkRine wasn't here last week.
I was too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, see, I don't remember. How about that?
He was here, but it wasn't memorable.
But there we go. Anyways, look at that. Mama Boss putting on his makeup for him because he was running a little bit behind. Hi, Mama Boss. Good to see you. You know, obviously somebody's working hard in that Giants area. You know, the fans are because the team ain't.
Well, yeah. Well, no, the team is just it's not showing on the field. I mean, it's kind of hard now that we're down to our, third string quarterback, and yeah, it is what it is.
Danny
At this point, I'm just like, F it. I'm just gonna watch it.
Well, you got to remember a couple of weeks ago when I told you Tyrod Taylor was going to get hurt if he would keep running, and
yeah,
sure
and he
enough,
got hurt.
Yeah. He can't. He is one of the most prone to get hurt, and the way he did, and it just sad. I like the kid, but I just wanted to see him succeed, and it just sucks that he's hurt as well.
Okay, am I the only one that noticed he sounds a little lower?
Yes, thank you. Because I was about to say the same thing. I'm like, all right, I see.
I was really going to say, and introducing Barry White.
I think we need to congratulate.
Maybe it's my microphone. I don't know.
I don't know. It's like
you have a lot more bass in your voice. You really do.
He has finally entered puberty. Only
How
took
are you doing,
7 years.
How are you doing, TruBlu?
Luke, I am your father. Oh man, gotta love it.
I was freaked out. I was like, all right, I see Truce. I
saw the look on PorkRine's face, and he was like, "What the is going on?"
I have no idea.
And you know what? Embrace it.
There's no trouble. There's no trouble. It's all bass.
Yes. So we're
the women that are listening to this podcast right now are very excited.
I know. Yes, they are. Actually, I'm getting a little excited right now. Anyway,
I'll start.
Well, because this is the only reason why I can get excited, because obviously I have no other reason to be excited. And apparently this is the weekend that I don't know if you guys remember back in January, I made a bet with Sam Williams that if the Giants win the game, I buy him a Giants hat. He has to wear it at work. And if the what do you call it, Dallas Cowboys, whatever, he's going to buy me a Dallas Cowboy hat, and I have to wear it for a week. So
Oh, he has to buy it, or you have to buy it?
No, he does for the Cowboys, and I'm going to buy him a Giants hat. So, well,
Did you already get the delivery?
The game ain't over yet. You never know. Hey, you never know, right?
You don't.
So
Actually, if it was, if it was TruBlu saying it, it'd be like, "You'll never find."
Bum, 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 bum.
Another team like mine. Anyways, so you guys got spanked by the Raiders, and
we had a third string quarterback in there. What else do you what do you think? And I'm sorry, I'm lashing out. I'm just like, I'm hearing it from all ends. Luckily, though, Raider fans, and I made a bet with a Raider fan last week, a hat bet, and I paid it off too. But it's the third string. Of course, we're gonna get our asses spanked.
Well,
and then you got McKinney. Then you got McKinney talking about, the coaches don't let us talk. What are you talking about? The problem is we're losing. That's the problem. If the record was flipped, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. Bottom line.
And what kind of treatment are the fans giving the coach from the Raiders? What's his name?
Antonio Pierce. Look, I'm happy for him. He, God forbid, Jones went down. I'm not saying that would have been an improvement. I mean, we don't know. So, but I wish Antonio Pierce the best of luck. He was a damn good linebacker for us, player for us.
He was a great linebacker for us too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And he won. He got a ring with us. Did he get it? No, I'm not going to go there. But he was. I had to do the dig. I'm sorry, PorkRine. It is not your fault. I'm just pissed off right now that we're.
It's okay.
2-6.
He's as mad could be.
I am mad as hell. I'm depressed. Mama Boss has to hold me, rock me, and then we sing Kumbaya together, and I feel a little bit better about myself. And then she has to keep rocking me. And
well,
by the way, you're 2-7, not 2-6.
Oh, 2-6.
Sure that
shut up.
Just to make sure you do.
Who cares right now?
Made it hurt a little bit more.
I know, right? Like, okay. Let me get
but you do have some good news. You're down to a 16-point spread, not 17.5.
Oh, it's not 17. Well, it was 17. Then I saw it said 16.5, and now we're down to 16.
Well, hey, sneaky. That's because Keith just said that Eli Manning is coming out of retirement for Sunday's game.
That's the best news. I also heard Phil Simms was warming up. I heard Phil Simms was.
He's gonna be Jeff Hostetler. Yeah.
Well, see,
that's Phil Simms Jr., the guy who doesn't know how to even talk on the radio and play football because he sucks so bad. Couldn't even tell you. He couldn't even repeat the play. Yeah, that guy.
After these, since 19, as high as the Giants have been in the draft class, it still hasn't led to. I haven't seen any success on their side since 15, as far as winning.
Well, I mean, what do we want to?
They made the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
they did win a playoff game last year.
Well, no, I'm talking about wins with their draft class. I mean, they've been high up in there. Last year they got two number one picks.
Right, and we made it to the playoffs and won a playoff game, not just as far as the Dallas Cowboys did.
Correct.
And and then 2016 was the last time we saw the playoffs. So for me, success is getting another Lombardi trophy. Being content is getting in the playoffs, right? Having somewhat of success. But like right now, it's just the same old, and it's getting.
That's again where I'm leading to is the Giants are moving up in the draft class yet again, and
it has to be frustrating. I know as far as I would be concerned, if I'm up in the top 10 picks in the past several years and it hasn't led to success yet, you know, even at a quarterback position, you have to start asking yourself, who's drafting these guys?
Yeah.
What are we evaluating?
Well, I mean,
they just changed that guy.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, well, and to be fair, you know, Joe Shane and Dable, they inherited Jones, and
Of
they
course.
felt that, you know, he was the better option for the next 2 years. You know,
And not
turned
anymore
out,
after this week.
No,
they did resign him.
it's you know, and we signed him on the potential that he had last year under the same coaching, and this year I just don't know. I mean, our offensive line was dismal. Evan Neal hasn't really played up to the expectation of a 7th round pick or a 7th overall pick. You know, last night on my show, I was telling everybody, you know, maybe it's time to move Evan Neal to guard. I mean, can you imagine putting Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal on one side of the offensive line and then kind of working our way around to, you know, there's a lot of what ifs, but overall, I wish I had, and I know this whole show is divvied up between the 4 of us, and I know I'm long-winded too, but I wish I had the magic word.
Not
I
you,
wish I had. I know, right? Me, long-winded. No. I wish I had the, you know, the recipe of success. You know, but I'm sure, you know, to be fair, we all have our own thing. You know, we're in our slump the way we are.
No, I don't know.
You know.
You
Well,
know.
yeah,
I don't
mean,
know.
you guys are having somewhat success, but you know, at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is to get the trophy. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. And you know, since
Somebody just gave you a hug. Somebody just gave you a hug.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
They feel bad for you, Sneaky.
Billy said that somebody that said I need a hug. That's in the comments. She's probably like, not me, motherfucker.
Not again. Not again.
I ain't hugging you anymore.
Yeah, I'm tired of this. Shit. That's too much.
Been hugging you since 7 o'clock on Sunday.
No, since week 1, 40-0. Yeah, that's when. Shit. I'm sorry, I shouldn't cuss. I need to stop.
Well, that's that again where it leads to you know, the draft and who's been drafting and everything. Drafting is so, as we can see with the Houston Texans and Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
You know, this draft class. Look at this draft class. Carolina went with their number 1. There's been no success. Houston went with the number 2, got the better kid. I believe in the draft class.
Yeah.
And you look at where they're at right now, and it's just it goes to show
that rookie wide receiver too.
No, yeah, that too.
Between Houston and Detroit, man, they've been hitting on their draft class this year.
Well, this year, yes. But think about it. Remember, Houston had the first 2 picks in the draft.
Yeah.
So they got a quarterback, and they got their quarterback on defense, and that's what they got. You know, so it's like that changes a lot of scenarios.
Yeah, that's a formula.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I mean, another thing that changes is, like, let's use Troy Aikman for an example. Troy Aikman had a dismal first year. You know, 1-11, I think it was his record, right?
1-15.
1-15. I'm sorry. Well, the whole team at
1-15,
but I don't think he played the whole season. What I'm trying to get at is there's progression, there's development, and then obviously he's now a 3-time Super Bowl champ, Hall of Famer, you know, Super Bowl MVP.
There's no chance that Daniel Jones is going to do that.
Well, not with the Giants. I mean, I don't. And I've been preaching the whole time on my show that I'm just focused on Dallas. So this is the actual first time that I'm actually talking about this right now. I don't know what the future holds for Jones. The assumption is there. The injuries are there, and you know, we'll see. I've always said if Jones, like he did last year, if he can play his way out of the top 15 picks in the first round, he's sticking around. It doesn't look like it's going to happen this year. So, I mean, we'll see. And now the problem is we got a new GM and a new head coach. So it's, you know, it's anybody's ball game now.
Well, yeah, it's the same recipe the Cowboys had with Mike McCarthy. He gave your coordinator everybody else positions. You let them stay there for a couple of years, and after that, they're gone. And this is year 2 for your guys, what you're talking about. So I'm pretty sure, he's going to cut a lot of people and get rid of the team that he inherited.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, it's going to be interesting.
So, anyways, that being said, the Giants stink. Anyways, moving on.
Moving on.
The Commanders take command against the New England Patriots and barely hold on to keep it 20-17 to win.
Barely, yeah. I mean, I don't know how we get in these situations where we dominate the game and then, it's so frustrating. We're up 10-0. We get the ball and we're driving. Brian Robinson fumbles. The very next play, they score. We get the ball back, 3 and out. As soon as they get the ball, they take a 63-yard run for a touchdown, 14-10. And it's just I don't have an answer anymore. It's frustrating. Sam Howell played a good game. He went 29 for 45, 325, a TD. He did have a really ugly interception right before halftime where he should have just threw the ball away. And instead he tried to I don't know if he thought he was playing for the Patriots because he threw the ball right to him. Offensive line definitely played better. They only sacked them 3 times. We actually ran the ball pretty good. B-Rob had 63 yards and a touchdown. He did have 1 fumble. We led every category. Time of possession, I think it was 37 minutes to 23. But it still came down to the Patriots had the ball and they were driving and could have won the game had Mac Jones not thrown an interception at the end of the game.
Wow.
So it's frustrating that we're dominating games, but it doesn't show that on the scoreboard. And another thing I sent the play in our little group text that really pissed me off.
Yeah.
That right there could have been a momentum change in our favor. KJ Henry was coming around the corner and hits Mac Jones, doesn't slam him on the ground. He actually kind of braced himself and kind of slid off of him without putting his body weight on him. Obviously, fumble. We get the ball, and they call a roughing
the passer.
It's blatantly obvious that it wasn't roughing the passer, and the announcers are like, "That's a tackle. That's a It's just I don't know. These referees, man, they've got to put something in place where these nonsense penalties,
where you could tackle the quarterback.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
It's just, I get it.
We all get it.
You want to protect the quarterback. I get that. But these calls, man, it's like this every game.
Well, let me tell you something that leads on to the penalties a little bit more. Is that when a flag is thrown and then picked up without, any explanation, just saying nothing at all.
Yeah. Then why would
that is more egregious.
Yes.
You're not going to pull out that flag and throw it, regardless of what side you're on, and then pick it up and not say a damn thing about it. That
they did twice in the Eagles Cowboys game, by the way.
That's and it was all over the league. They've been picking up these flags and not giving an explanation. They just say, well, we're picking up the flag. Let's call it good. Let's move on. No, you can't do that in this game. You just slowed the momentum down either side.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. But the NFL needs to have an explanation of one, what's the referee supposed to say? Is he supposed to say what he thought he saw?
Yeah.
Because you can't be nonchalant about something that you're changing the game.
Yeah.
Right. Right. All they say is the flag. There is no flag on.
Yes.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Right. Don't pick it up. It's not like it just fell out of your waistband.
Yeah. 10 yards away.
Threw it.
Well, the problem with a lot of these penalties, and I just want to touch on that roughing the passer, if you will, it's so subjective because
from the angle,
exactly. Well, no, and then if let's say if Dex sacks a quarterback, lands on top of him, they're going to throw the flag. because he put his weight on him.
Yeah. What the
Are
hell?
you what is he supposed to do?
Yeah. He's supposed to lean to the side and roll. That's
I mean, are you kidding me right now? And it's so again, it's so subjective because I would call it one way, True, you'd call it PorkRine. We would call it 4 different ways. There would not be a standard to the weight being put on the quarterback. And that's ridiculous.
Well, that's the thing too, that these officiating crews are supposed to be, the best of the best, but apparently they're still not.
Dude,
And it's all perception, like you're saying. It's all perspective. What vision are you seeing it? What back judge is seeing it? What line judge is seeing it? Because you get to roughing the passer. Well, like you're saying, you want them to twist and throw them down. Well, that is now being called roughing the passer, and that changes the whole game.
Yep.
I mean, you could either have a sack or you have a 15-yard penalty. You can't.
Or just make it so that if you got to touch the quarterback, that's it.
Yeah.
Put a flag on him. Put a flag on him. A red flag or something.
Might as well.
Yeah, I mean that's where it's getting at, because it's changing. I saw it this last week where touching the quarterback is either a penalty or it's a sack, but they looked identical.
Yeah, and I mean this was a textbook tackle, man. Like it's so frustrating because I mean who knows? We won by 3, but had that we got the ball. I
might have won by 6.
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
well, yeah, and again, like I've been saying, we need to have that other official in there. I don't understand why we cannot have another official in there opposite of the referee to see everything, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's all they need to do. They have real time to New York where they can be talking to the guys. Well, this is something that needs to be understood by the NFL. We understand that there's a Vegas and every other betting line that there is, but you got to.
Well, that's it right there.
Yeah,
that's it right there.
And when the casinos and everybody else are calling their lines a point spread, everything else, well, I'm not. It's not fair to the fan. It's not fair to the fan of the team.
Not at all.
It's not fair to the team, and it's definitely not fair to the players.
And
so something really needs to be done.
And what really irritates me is after the game, they go back and they look at these plays and like, oh yeah, that should not have been called. Oh.
It's too late after that.
It's too late.
Yeah.
You decided the game that way.
Yeah. That's what. Just don't even come in and make that comment. Just leave it alone.
Whether it's roughing the kicker, roughing the passer, roughing the punt returner, it doesn't matter. You've already given up. The game's over. Yeah. You can't go back and say that should have never been called.
Yeah.
New York should have been calling right then and there and saying, we shouldn't have called it. We should have called that. Yeah, let's get it in real time. Let's
right then and there. Give like a 20-second delay.
And that's the thing. They're saying that they don't want to overturn something that the field crew missed. Well, no, you do it all the time. You do it on interceptions. You do it on first downs. You do it on fumbles. You're always overturning what the field crew says. So don't sit here and tell me, well, we don't have enough evidence to overturn what they suggested. No, you do, because you do it all the time.
And the thing with that's something they would want to do because it saves the integrity of the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So when these officials are corralling together and getting together, there should be somebody in New York who's talking with them as well, because we all know it happens. They don't need to run to the sideline. Somebody could be talking on the sideline from them and get real time from New York to tell them what they saw. Yeah. It's not hard.
Yeah. Matty had a comment. He said it's not a game anymore. It's entertainment, literally.
Well, it is registered as entertainment.
Yeah.
It literally is registered as entertainment.
Now, speaking of entertainment, how do you feel about Sam Howell? I mean, 325 yards. That's not bad.
Matty asked that question earlier. I've been saying this since we drafted him. I'm a fan of him. I watched him in UNC. I mean, had he came out a year early, he would have been a first rounder. The year that he ended up coming back for his junior season, he lost everybody after his sophomore. He lost his entire offensive line. He lost his receivers. I mean, he lost everybody. So he didn't have that great of a junior year. But I mean, he's got an arm. He's got a lot of heart. He's and he's developing every week. He gets better and better. He's not holding on to the ball as much as he was in the beginning of the season. I think that might have a little bit to do with his sacks going down. He's making a little bit more of a precise decision. I definitely see his, decision making's. It's coming. The game's coming to him a little bit faster now.
Well, that's because of the coaching staff.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, the only thing we got to do now is just build that offensive line in front of him. I mean, you got to build a wall in front of that guy.
That's the story of my life too.
So
only if.
Only if. So, yeah, I mean, right now I think he's seventh I want to say he's top 5 in yards. He's 7th in touchdowns. I mean, he's not bad for I consider him a rookie quarterback. I mean, he's only had, one more game than the rookies this year. So
he's making people in Vegas happy, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. So
pretty fly for a white guy.
Putting up some stats.
Got you. So, well, and you guys have a game this week that you are underdogs in. So, and not quite as bad as the Cowboys are over the Giants. But there was another game that happened this Sunday. And
game of inches.
There were a lot of people crying about the referees. And I said, I actually even put out there that True would not cry about the referees.
Nope.
So,
you can't.
I knew that you wouldn't. I will say that the referees, as bad as the referees were, I felt like they tried to give Dallas every opportunity to possibly win that game.
Yeah.
Well, it goes a little bit more in depth with our offensive side of the ball. When we were going down in fourth quarter, we had 8+ minutes on the board, and there was no sense of urgency. There was none at all. Let's take our time. Let's drive down the field. Let's see what we can get. And obviously that's what led to those, that touchdown being reversed on the goal line for not making it. And it was like, you just gave up 6 minutes on the clock to give the ball back to the Eagles. There was no sense of urgency, no game management at all. And then, going back with that last drive, you're on the 6-yard line. You drive all the way down, get on the 6-yard line, and then you're on the 31. Don't blame the refs for that.
Hey, it was 3rd and 26, not 3rd and 31.
But either way.
I was nervous because it was like 3rd and 26 is going to replace the 4th and 26 play. I don't think so.
Yeah, and it was just ridiculous. We get all the way down there, and you you just dug your hole. Let's dig ourselves a hole. We worked, 50 yards across the field to get back in game contention. Now let's lose a couple of yards. Let's get a sack. Let's Steele was not up to par. I'm going to tell you that right now. Steele was very disappointed this week at O-line. I think this is his worst game, 28 QB pressures. You can't have that as a right tackle. You can't. It was just ridiculous. I know he's going to, whatever the coaches say, that they're going to work on it, but it is what it is.
Well, one thing I'll say this, that it's 20 penalties total. 20 penalties. To be fair, I didn't think Philly had I thought that Philly would be more of a disciplined team, being that they were a team that just, came from the Super Bowl. They have the best record in the NFL. Granted, they haven't played their best ball, but still find ways to win. I was shocked that I saw that Philly had 10. And I hate to say it, I wasn't shocked that the Dallas Cowboys had 10. But the time of possession was close. It was a great. I only saw the last play. I didn't see the whole game, to be fair. But
I did.
Well, of course you did. I know True did too. I don't know if you did, PorkRine.
I watched the whole game.
You know, I mean, it built up to what it was supposed to be, an entertaining game.
Yeah. I was rooting for the Cowboys, and I don't ever do that, but I was rooting for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I was rooting for
That's why you lost, because you had a couple of.
I was hoping a tie, but that wasn't going to happen. But
yeah, not when they missed that 2-point conversion because he stepped out of bounds.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that, like I said, game of inches.
Well, that and the touchdown
and the touchdown with the knee down before.
Ah.
And I don't understand. I don't get why. When they're so far back and they do a dig route in front of, I know that the players are playing so deep that
rookie tight end.
Yeah, just you're not going to power your way in the end zone.
Rookie tight end.
Yeah. And that was
Dak had no choice but to throw it there.
Ultimately, I know CeeDee Lamb had a great game, but it was his tight end that he was able that solved his problems a lot of the day. Yep. That's the tight end, and I knew the tight end would be the problem. For some reason or another, the tight end always has great games against the Eagles from Dallas. And he used them frequently to get himself out of trouble. I would say he targeted maybe, I didn't even check, but he got maybe 6 targets and got like 4.
Ferguson.
Yeah. I got like 4 or 5 first downs and stuff like that out of those targets. He was getting the first downs for everybody, for them.
Yeah, and that's the thing, going into this week is the coaching staff has to do a better job with their tight ends and their rookie receiver and all receivers. We didn't get Brandon Cooks involved, which I don't understand. I still don't understand how we're not getting that kid involved.
He can't get open.
Well, he can get open. It's just the play calling. They're putting them in the slot, and it just doesn't make any sense with that speed. But regardless, is where I'm going into this week is the coaching the coaching staff on the receiver side needs to teach these guys on where personnel are when they're lined up, how far they need to run these routes in certain situations. But that's just me. I'm just a fan.
Hey, listen, that's why they get paid the big bucks, and we can sit here and criticize them the fact that we know more.
Yeah.
And I think I know Dak didn't throw any interceptions, which I'm actually shocked. I actually thought he was going to throw at least 1, maybe 2. But there were 2 turnovers. I don't know who fumbled the ball.
It was the turnovers were fourth downs.
Oh, turnovers on downs. Oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody was holding on to the ball tight. There was 1 fumble, but it was recovered back by the Eagles. The Eagles had fumbled it, but they recovered it, and that was one
of the calls that had to get overturned.
Yeah,
the 2-point conversion had to get overturned.
Yep.
The at the goal line had to get overturned. The touchdown at the goal, which really shouldn't have ever happened in the first place, because he didn't make it on 4th and 1 when he did a quarterback sneak. And then they called a 15-yard penalty for face mask, and they gave you guys the first down. If you remember that.
Oh, I remember that.
And you guys didn't make it, and I'm like, hold on, that's not right. It's a turnover on downs because it was after the play, and then we get the ball, and it's half the distance to the goal line.
What was
it? Yeah,
but
that was yeah. And that 4th down, the whistle didn't blow until he got that second push.
Wasn't the last play of the game, though, with that where you guys were throwing the ball back?
Yeah, it's right here.
That's a fumble. Yep, there you go.
Okay. Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, so that's one of them.
Yeah, he was looking for somebody to pass it back to, and it just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
So I'm confused with Kellen Moore last year, and I'm looking at the stat line right now. Kellen Moore, his biggest thing was they didn't run it enough, right? They didn't hand the ball off enough. Dak threw the ball for 44 times.
Yep.
That's not a balanced offense.
Nope.
If McCarthy's going to sit there and say, well, if I'm going to get fired, I need to do it my way. Let me call the plays and blah, blah, blah. Maybe have a more balanced game. Maybe run the ball more. Is Tony Pollard not the guy? And I'm asking an honest question.
I just think the Eagles' run defense is better than their pass defense.
No, and to answer your question, Sneaky, Tony Pollard is not the answer. He never was the answer at number one. He was part of the 1-2 punch, and we're missing that power back right now. That somebody that gets that yard when needed to make that defensive line think about going up against it. And then you have the breakout run from him. We don't have that right now. It's all speed, and it's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, it looks like Tony Pollard had 12 rushes for 51 yards.
Yeah,
but the average 4.3 a carry, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad, but when you're looking at the scheme of the plays and everything else,
and granted, I didn't see the game, so I didn't see exactly what happened on the field. So I'm just going off.
Yeah,
numbers.
no, he did okay, but
he got a couple of runs that went for like 8-10 yards, but
yeah,
that was it. I mean, most of the carries went for nothing.
But when you're getting bumped and you're flying around the sideline, it just we need a power back, and that's the end of that.
I don't know.
Probably rushed for about 62 yards because there were a few plays where he got knocked back in the behind the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
So it's just to give you an idea. The defense. I thought it was going to be a lower scoring game. Actually, I remember saying it was going to be 23-17. It did wind up going over, but not by much. Hey, listen, I felt it was a game by the two best teams in the NFC, not just the East, the NFC, and it was won by the best team in the NFC.
Enjoy it while you can. That's all I'm gonna say. Shit. That's all I'm gonna say.
Keep crying.
I'm on the other end.
I have more tissues.
I'm on the other end. It's like I don't want to hear it. It's like, you know what? Whatever. Okay. Let's go on to something else. The sky is blue.
It was 17-0 that you chose, right? That was 17-0 that you guys.
And I'm gonna say that next year too.
Yeah.
I'm at so we're 7. We're at 7 losses right now, right? Yeah, we're gonna go 10-7. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
Make the playoffs. DeVito all the way. Forget about it. Forget about it.
Hey,
I hear Danucci's available.
Who?
Danucci.
Forget about. Why not? Forget about it. Why not?
You could have the pizza guy.
I can see John Marin now. Let's make him an offer he can't refuse.
They made an offer. He refused.
Oh yeah. And
we'll let you get out there, but you're gonna get.
And Kaepernick's sitting in the cut like, you need me. I'm the bad guy. You need the bad guy. I'm the bad guy.
Well, I'll tell you, the quarterback carousel is getting pretty interesting. I mean, just in general in the NFC East, you look at. I mean, when you look at the Giants and what they're struggling with, you look at how many quarterbacks the Dallas Cowboys have. You look at where Jalen Hurts is right now with the somewhat of a minor injury, and whoever his backup is, and then you have Sam Howell.
Don't bring up his knee. You don't want to talk about his knee.
Oh, I mean, I'm telling you,
don't talk about it.
You can see him run inside that locker room and go get that injection, and all that played in my mind was that Varsity Blues or whatever that show was. Coach, don't give him the shot.
Well, let's talk about the NFC North real quick. Dobbs don't even know the names of the players.
Yep.
Don't even know the names of. Don't even know the cadence.
Yep.
Which I thought the cadence.
I like that.
From Tennessee, he's a grit. He's
smart kid.
He's grinding it out. You could tell he's very smart and he thinks a lot because he doesn't have eyebrows. So it's like
it's not alopecia.
No, I know he's related to Pickett, but I'm just saying, Will Smith's husband.
And the other team in the NFC North that has an undrafted rookie quarterback starting is Chicago with Tyson Bagent. And I've been touting that guy since we were first talking about it.
Yeah, and there's that's what's fun about the league is seeing all the quarterbacks up and coming and the schedule left remaining. We've got to play the Giants, of course. Seeing what DeVito's going to do.
That's a win.
Well, I always say you got to play the game.
Right.
But we got Washington coming up. We've got Seattle coming up. We've got Carolina coming up, and these are games with quarterbacks, and that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at the quarterback play across the league, the teams that we've got to play, and that includes Washington.
This is the cake portion of your schedule.
Yeah, of course, and that's why I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it and saying, okay, what do we have to do here, and how do we have to, what do we have to do to rest our personnel? What do we do to get some of our personnel better? And at the same time, how's practice going to go? And the first thing that I thought of this game after seeing Smith back out there was like, if this is how he plays without practicing, I don't need to see him practice, the rest of the season. And sure enough, it comes out that it's being suggested that he might not even need to practice the rest of the season. And I'm like, okay, I can live with that. But I mean, that's where we are as what's that?
Who are we talking about?
Tyron Smith, left tackle.
Tackle, yeah.
7'7". But I mean that's he's just getting back from the injury list and he's back out there, and he had one of his best games. He didn't allow any quarterback pressures, no sacks, nothing. But looking at the rest of the league and the schedule is that's why I'm paying attention to this part, is what do we have to do to rest some of our guys?
I'll just say this right now. I'm looking at the playoff chase. Obviously, we know the top four: Philly, Detroit, 49ers, and the Saints. I'm not surprised about the Saints at all. Then you have the wild cards. You have the Seahawks, Dallas, and Minnesota. But lurking is the Commanders.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and November, I don't know what it is with Ron Rivera in November, but he's got like a horseshoe shoved up his butt because he's 8-1 in November. I don't know what it is about this guy in November, but I mean, so we'll see. I mean, we got a big game coming up this weekend against Seattle, so hopefully we go there and do our job and pull off the win. But I mean, Seattle had a pretty tough loss last week against Baltimore, so I know they're going to be wanting to rebound. So,
all right, well, let's get into this talk now that we're going into.
Let's do it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He's already took the words out of my mouth. It is 6.5-point spread that you guys are underdogs, and the over/under is 45.5. It is a 425 game. The Washington Commanders versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, I mean, if we can take a page out of Baltimore Ravens playbook and run the ball, I mean, I would like to see them hand the ball off 40 times compared to Sam Howell dropping back passing 20 times. I mean, let's flip the page. Let's get our running game going. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they threw the ball 60 times. I just want a better game against, defensively. And I want to win handily. I'm sick and tired of these 3-point wins that come down to the last minute. I'm getting older. My heart can't more of these games.
You want to keep that beer red. You don't want any pepper in it, right? You don't want no gray.
I don't want to. There's some gray in there, but I want to keep it predominantly red. He
doesn't want to show people he's a grandpa yet.
Yeah, like let me live a little bit longer. I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those games that do come down to the end, though. I think we'll pull it off. I see maybe a 21-20 game. I think Sam Howell will lead us to a victory. Offensive line has to keep them upright. That's, the name of the game.
Where are they playing at?
They're playing in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
So
I highly recommend you. Those one of those games you got to go to.
Oh man, I was supposed to be there. So
I'm gonna jump out and just say, PorkRine, I like you. I have nothing against you. The fact that they're playing in Seattle, I think that's gonna play a difference. That rookie they got as a safety is all over the field. I know, because that defense sacked us 11 times.
Yeah.
And I'm still a little bit bitter.
I'm
going to say
it's because your team stinks.
I'm going to shut up, Phil. Ain't nobody. I'm kidding. I love you, but still shut up. I'll go. You know what, PorkRine, 28-20 Commanders. Just for you.
Thanks, buddy.
Because Philly pissed me off.
What time's the game out there? It's going to be 125 game.
425.
It's one.
Yeah,
Well,
it'll
it's
be
425 here, 125 out there. Yes.
Yeah.
125, yep.
Yeah, I don't know. After that beatdown that they just took from Baltimore, I think there's going to be a little bit of tension up in the air, and with the fan base there, and that stadium's going to get a little loud. I do think if you guys can run the ball, though, if you guys can run it and get them out of the game early, like you said, you guys can always get that lead, but then you're just trying to figure out what happens, and it's like
keep your foot on the gas pedal.
Yeah,
don't let
All
up.
gas, no
Don't
brakes,
let up.
Ron.
if that happens again, where you guys walk into a game and you guys start taking control and you come back and say, okay, we're going to dominate, and then all of a sudden you start letting it slide. Seattle's not the place to let that happen.
You're right about that. We've done that
It is-
many times there.
It is one of the toughest stadiums to play in, especially if it's a close game such. And again, I took Washington last week. I'm going to have to take Seattle on this one. I'm going to have to take Seattle on this one just because of the travel, just because of the time. A little bit of fanfare going on in Seattle. But I do think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be around 23-20. I think, as many field goals are going to be as possible. Three field goals for you guys is not going to be enough. You guys need to score in the red zone.
Yep.
And it's a must in that stadium. So, but I've got Seattle edging this one out 23-20.
I am. I also am going to go with Seattle on this one. I think that Seattle is the better team here. I think they are going to have a chip on their shoulder after getting their asses handed to them in Baltimore, and then having to see you guys come all the way across the field, across the country. I think that Washington is not. I tell you, after good games, you guys seem to really put up stinkers. And I think this could be. I think that this could be like a 37-team game.
Last game wasn't that good, Philly.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you guys won. So here's
And
the
you were
stinker.
playing without Chase.
And
And
Monte.
Sweat.
Yeah.
No Chase, no Sweat.
I do want the record to show I do think Seattle's going to win, but only because Philly pissed me off. I'm going for Commanders.
So
All present. Yeah. Saying we saw that he's admitted to Seattle. Yeah.
all right, there we go. That being said, the other game that's going to be happening in the NFC East, we have the New York Stink versus the Dallas
We got to
Cowboys.
talk about what about Philly? What about are you guys on a bye?
Philly's on
We got
bye.
to buy.
Shit, y'all still
Bye,
lost.
bye, 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 bye.
I can't talk
So
about.
we got the
Eagles
New York
today.
Stink versus the
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
And it's over under of 38.5 and the 16.
They probably got Dallas at 35, and that's a 3.
That's what I would
And Sneaky has something on the line. Don't forget. So
I got it. Yeah, I got to. Yeah. Go ahead, True. Just what do you got? Or whoever wants to go first. I'm going last. I'm going first last.
well,
I'll go first. I
All
think the
right.
New York Stink is not going to just roll over and die here. I think that they actually got a little bit of their backs up here because they got spanked 40-0. And these are professional players. And I think that Dallas may go in there thinking that they just beat this team 40-0. And I think it's going to be close for a while. I think it's going to wind up ending worse than it's going to look. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 31-20, but it's not. It's like with like the late touchdown to win it, or something like that, to just put it out of reach. I think that it's going to be. I think it's going to be a fairly close game, or maybe not 20, but like 21-10 is maybe like 24-10, but it's still going to be like.
I was going to say, you saying we're going to get 21 points? Oh shit!
Yeah, I revised that because you
I'll
guys
take
think.
that. That means DeVito threw like 6 touchdowns in a game.
is that how math works?
That was quick math. Quick math. Boy in a high in the house.
So I got it. Yeah, I think it's going to be like a 24-10 game, but like I said, it's going to be closer than that. Like a 17-10, and
Well,
it
I,
not.
I'm seeing the Cowboys go into this one a little bit, frustrated, a little anger on their side after this past week. But of course, they are professionals, as you said, and they're going to do whatever it takes to be as minimal as possible. And what I mean by that is if they can get a lead and they can maintain it, that I do see players coming out to rest. And it goes down that path. What Philly's talking about is, they're going to get some type of momentum. They're going to get a lead, and then they're just going to want to hold on to it, make sure that the personnel's in there to hold on to it, and really not put on the gas and just say, okay, we're good right here. Like McCarthy's been playing all year. Let's just play, control the clock. Let's do what we have to. Let's win this game. And I really don't see it anywhere, like the Rams or Patriots or anything like that. I think it's going to be a little bit more leaning, and it'll be, say, 33-13. Giants get 13. I just don't think a Giants quarterback – don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you got to play the game. This quarterback might want to ball out, but it's just all based on what the Giants are going to do offensively.
So, I got something for you guys. All right, so I've been thinking a lot, and I might have for all you fantasy football.
First time's always the hardest, by the way.
I know, right? But for all you fantasy football players out there, if you don't have Graham Gano, pick him up because he is going to kick 8 field goals and the Giants are going to win 24-0.
That's what although he's on IR, his replacement.
Who is the replacement?
Give me 15 minutes.
No, good news is good news with Gary Gnews.
No, I think the Cowboys are going to be coming into this game a little peed off for coming up inches short from still in that game in Philadelphia. I don't think it's going to be that close. Sorry, Sneaky, love you. I think it's going to be a 28-3 game, man. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas's defense scores 2 of those touchdowns.
I think for me,
no
That's
dead
Randy
air.
Bullock, by the way.
Ren, thank you. Yeah. I know his last name began with a B. He's a stocky guy too. I remember seeing him warming up. This is one of those games where you just wonder, do you put pineapple on pizza?
You can if you come join me for a tailgate.
It's kind of, it's like, do you put pineapple? Like, does it really go on pizza?
You're going to this game too, Sneaky, aren't you?
I already had these tickets bought, and yeah.
You can still sell them. You can still sell them.
No, I'm going. No, I'm going. I'm going.
Do you think,
I actually have a friend of mine.
Are you gonna bring that sign that you had at the playoff game?
No, I'll wait. I normally wait until the Dallas Cowboys lose in the playoffs, and then I'll bring that sign. I think
this is
Eli's
frustration at its finest.
It is, and I'm trying to be quick and easy about it. I think.
Well, we only have 7 more minutes left, or 6.
All right, I'll do my best. 6.5. I'll be done at 6.5. That's what I. Anyway, let me stop. Eli is going to come out of the locker room, and David Tyree is going to be coming out as well. Plexico, he's fully healed. No, Plexico is going to come out as well. Strahan, and we're going to win 17-14 because if you believe it, it will happen.
So I gave a message to Strahan.
That's what I'm gonna keep telling myself.
I actually sent a message to Strahan. I sent a video to him through a friend of his, and he got back to me. I told him, I said, hey, Michael, how do you feel about the fact that your team stinks and you're going to get to watch the Eagles go back to the Super Bowl? He responded, "Why are you wasting my time with this guy?" He goes, "I know who he is. I know who he is. And I might watch him go back to the Super Bowl and lose again." I said, "You're going to be seeing a lot of my face."
That's funny.
So, yeah, even Michael Strahan's in on the joke. He knows that this team stinks. And he'd love to say that you guys were better, but you're not.
We are what our record says we are. So
we did have some news today. We did have another wide receiver join the team today for us after hiatus suspension there for a bit.
Who's that?
Bryant. He came from Pittsburgh.
Martavius Bryant?
Yep.
Didn't he play for
Pittsburgh?
I thought he played for somebody else too. But
I believe he went over to the Raiders as well.
And a quarterback that has played for two teams in the NFC East was picked up and is now an LA Ram, right where he should have been probably in the first place.
Yeah.
That's
full circle.
Yep. It is like it was a choice between him and Goff. Goff took him to Super Bowl and lost. I think that was a coaching problem. And, Carson Wentz drove us halfway to the Super Bowl and has a ring. So we'll see how that
come
turns
full
out.
circle.
That being said, hey, we're up at the top of the hour. Look at us all getting done, even a touch early. Everybody was in here early. Everybody gets to leave a couple of seconds early because we didn't have a game this week. And if we did, next week I'll talk a little bit extra, because we're going to have the Super Bowl rematch.
Does pineapple belong on pizza? Like, is that a thing?
Only if it has ham. Only if it has ham.
Okay, because then it's called a Hawaiian, right? I think that's what they
call it Hawaiian.
Okay.
So,
all right, I'm sorry. I was just...
So, as we come check up with us next week, where we find out how bad the Giants lost, if Washington's still in the playoff hunt, and if the Dallas Cowboys hire or get any more wide receivers in, because they really need running backs. So, anyways, as always,
let's go Giants.
About them Cowboys.
Go Birds.
I'm gonna get me a pineapple pizza.
Have a great one.